Someone regrets losing you, and heaven is about to show you why. So don't scroll, listen to this, because if these words are appearing on your screen right now, this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now more than you realize, and something in your spirit has already been leaning in, sensing a shift, sensing a pull, sensing a divine whisper that something big is moving behind the scenes of your life. You've been feeling this strange combination of heaviness and hope, like your soul knows an answer is coming even though your mind can't explain it, and that's because heaven has been preparing you for a revelation, a truth about someone who walked away, someone you gave your heart to, someone who didn't understand the depth of your love until they lost it, someone who carries a regret so heavy now that it sits on their chest every single day. Don't scroll. Stay with this, because the universe has been trying to get your attention, those chills that hit out of nowhere, those flashes of memories you didn't ask for, those dreams that feel too real to ignore, those angel numbers like 1111, 222, 444 showing up in moments where your heart feels uncertain, confused, or ready for closure. These are not random signs. They are spiritual breadcrumbs guiding you toward the truth. Someone regrets losing you more than they've admitted, more than they've shown, more than you could possibly know. Listen to this, because heaven is highlighting something your spirit has been picking up on. They didn't walk away because you were unworthy. They walked away because they were unprepared, overwhelmed by the intensity of the connection, afraid of the depth of emotion you stirred in them, afraid of being seen so deeply, afraid of being loved in a way their heart wasn't yet healed enough to accept. They thought distance would bring clarity, they thought time would lessen the feelings, they thought distractions would erase the ache, but the opposite happened. Don't scroll, hear this fully, because their regret is not just emotional. It is spiritual. Their soul has been restless. Something in them wakes up every morning and feels the loss of you, even if their pride won't let them show it. They replay the moments they didn't appreciate enough, the conversations they cut short, the promises they broke, the ways they let fear push you away instead of letting love pull them closer. They're remembering the softness of your voice, the warmth of your presence, the way your energy brought peace into rooms they used to feel anxious in. You were a safe place they didn't know how to keep. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. Heaven is about to show you why everything happened the way it did. You weren't rejected, you were protected. You weren't abandoned, you were redirected. You weren't forgotten. You were placed on a higher path because the universe knew their heart needed time to learn, to heal, to grow, to wake up to the truth of what you meant. And now, that awakening is happening. They've been seeing signs about you everywhere, your initials, your birthday numbers, songs that remind them of you, random moments that trigger overwhelming emotion. They've been feeling the pull to reach out, to apologize, to confess what they should have said long ago, but fear has kept them quiet. Until now. Don't scroll, listen closely. Heaven is orchestrating a moment where their regret becomes revelation. Something is going to expose the truth to you, maybe a message, maybe a dream, maybe an unexpected encounter, maybe a shift in their behavior, but whatever it is, it will show you clearly why they regret losing you and why the universe pulled you apart in the first place. And here's the part your heart has been craving: you didn't lose anything. You were being prepared for something. You were being elevated. You were being strengthened. The pain you carried, the loneliness you endured, the questions that haunted you, none of it was wasted. Don't scroll, stay with this, because your spirit is entering a season where heaven returns what was taken, restores what was broken, and reveals what was hidden. You're not the same person you were when they walked away. You're stronger now. You're wiser now. You're aligned now. And because of that, heaven is ready to reveal the truth behind their regret, not to hurt you, but to heal you, not to reopen wounds, but to close them with clarity, not to create chaos, but to bring divine understanding. Someone regrets losing you deeply, profoundly, painfully, and heaven is about to show you exactly why. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what's unfolding right now is something your heart has already been sensing, something your intuition has been whispering for days, maybe weeks, and this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now in a way that feels almost spiritual, almost electric, almost impossible to ignore. The regret this person carries is not small, not surface level, not casual. It is deep, profound, and growing heavier by the day, and heaven is amplifying that regret because it's time for the truth to rise, time for clarity to enter the places confusion once lived, time for you to understand just how much they've been struggling with the loss of you. Don't scroll, stay with this, because they have been experiencing emotional waves that hit them out of nowhere. Moments where their chest tightens without warning, moments where memories crash over them like tides, moments where they find themselves replaying the last conversation, the last message, the last moment their pride allowed distance to form. They didn't realize then what they realize now. You were the calm in their chaos, the warmth in their coldness, the light in their heaviness, the person who saw them deeper than anyone else ever has. And losing that kind of presence? It changes a person. It shakes them awake. It forces them to confront truths they avoided. Listen to this, because heaven is revealing something they've been hiding. This person didn't expect to miss you this much. They didn't expect their soul to ache for you. They didn't expect every attempt to move forward to fall flat, to feel empty, to feel like settling. They didn't expect to compare every new interaction to the depth, comfort, and authenticity they had with you. And now, they're realizing that losing you wasn't just losing a relationship, it was losing alignment, losing peace, losing a part of themselves they didn't know they needed. Don't scroll, your heart needs this next part. They've been seeing signs everywhere, signs heaven is sending to crack open their awareness. Angel numbers like 1111 reminding them of divine timing, 222 nudging them toward reconciliation, 555 signaling emotional transformation, and 444 showing up when they feel alone, reminding them that their soul is being guided. Your name crosses their mind at the most unexpected moments. Your voice echoes in their memory when they're quiet enough to hear themselves think. Your energy surrounds them in dreams that feel more like messages than imagination. They feel the loss spiritually, emotionally, physically. And that regret? It's becoming unbearable. Don't scroll, because heaven wants you to understand something important. They didn't choose to walk away because they didn't care, they walked away because they weren't ready for the kind of love you offered. Your love held truth. Your love held depth. Your love held reflection. And that reflection forced them to see parts of themselves they weren't ready to face, forced them to confront wounds they hadn't healed, forced them to acknowledge fears they kept buried. You loved them honestly, openly, purely, and that honesty scared them. But now? That honesty is the very thing they miss. That honesty is the very thing they crave. That honesty is the very thing heaven is revealing to them as the truth they need to return to. Don't scroll, listen closely. This person has been carrying guilt for choosing distance over vulnerability, guilt for choosing silence over communication, guilt for choosing fear over love. They've wondered how different things would be if they had just spoken their truth, if they had just opened up, if they had allowed themselves to be fully seen by the one person who never judged them for their brokenness. They regret not giving you the reassurance you wanted, not showing up the way you deserved, not appreciating the depth of your presence. And heaven is magnifying that regret because it's time for revelation. Don't scroll, because the emotional shift happening inside this person is leading them toward a breakthrough moment, a moment where they can no longer pretend they're unaffected, no longer hide behind excuses, no longer silence their heart. Something is coming that will force them to confront their feelings for you, something that will push them to reach out, something that will reveal why heaven allowed the separation in the first place. They are being spiritually pulled back toward you, not because of loneliness, not because of convenience, but because their soul has awakened to a truth they can no longer deny: you were meant to be in their life. And losing you taught them that the hard way. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. You didn't lose them because you weren't enough, you lost them because your energy was too powerful, too pure, too aligned for someone still battling their own shadows. Heaven removed them until they were ready to see you clearly, appreciate you fully, and show up honestly. And now? Their regret is turning into realization, their fear is turning into courage, their silence is turning into longing, and their longing is turning into action. The universe is aligning something. An opportunity, a message, a divine nudge, that will bring their truth to the surface. Don't scroll, because here is your confirmation: the regret they carry is the beginning of their awakening, and heaven is about to show you exactly why everything unfolded the way it did. Stay open, stay grounded, stay ready, because the truth you've been waiting for is on its way. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what you're about to hear is going to connect dots your heart has been trying to piece together on its own, and this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now, especially after everything you've been carrying silently. The regret this person feels is not fading. It's intensifying, growing heavier with each passing day, and heaven is allowing that weight to grow because it is shaping them, awakening them, humbling them, pulling them toward a moment of truth they've avoided for far too long. They can't escape it anymore. Their spirit is restless, their mind is haunted with memories of you, and their heart is cracking open in ways they never experienced before. Don't scroll, because you need to hear how deeply this has been affecting them. They've been experiencing emotional flashbacks, moments where they remember your laugh at random times, moments where they hear your voice in the back of their mind, moments where they feel a sudden ache in their chest and don't know why until your face pops into their thoughts. They've been wondering how they ever let someone like you slip out of their life, how they convinced themselves they were better off without you, how they thought distance would simplify things when all it did was magnify what they lost. You weren't just someone who passed through their life, you were someone who touched them at a soul level, someone who reflected back the parts of themselves they needed to heal, someone who loved them with a purity they weren't ready for. And now that they've had time to sit with the silence, time to sit with the emptiness, time to sit with the truth, they're realizing that losing you has been their biggest heartbreak, even if pride kept them from admitting it. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. They've been questioning everything lately. Why couldn't they love you the way you deserved at the time? Why did they sabotage something so rare? Why were they so afraid of the one person who saw them clearly? Why did they let fear, ego, insecurity, or outside opinions influence a connection their soul was begging them to fight for? These questions keep them awake at night. These questions sit on their chest during the day. These questions are part of the divine awakening heaven is guiding them through. You see, regret is becoming their teacher. And heaven is making sure they learn. Don't scroll, listen closely. They've been feeling spiritual pressure. Angel numbers showing up repeatedly, dreams that feel like messages, flashes of intuition telling them to reach out, signs reminding them that they're not done with you, signs that hit their spirit in ways they cannot ignore. They see 111 when they think about calling you. They see 444 when they feel alone and realize you were their emotional anchor. They see 555 when they feel the urge to change something in their life, especially the silence between you two. These signs aren't coincidences. They are spiritual alarms waking them up to the truth. They need to make things right. They need to speak their heart. They need to stop running. They need to step into a version of themselves that can show up for you the way they couldn't before. Don't scroll, because this is where heaven's plan becomes clear. This person is entering a phase of emotional clarity where denial no longer works, distraction no longer numbs, and pretending no longer protects them. They are being spiritually pushed toward honesty, toward vulnerability, toward accountability. They're realizing that life feels emptier without you, not because they're lonely, but because your presence brought meaning, direction, comfort, and alignment into their life. They miss the way you understood them without them explaining anything. They miss the way you made life feel lighter, the way you made them feel worthy, the way you loved them from a place of sincerity they didn't know how to match. They miss the softness you brought into their hardest days. And heaven is making them sit with that realization so deeply that it becomes impossible for them to ignore. Don't scroll, your spirit needs to hear this next part. They know now that they took your love for granted. They know they didn't treat your heart with the care it deserved. They know they let you put in effort while they stayed guarded. They know they pushed you away emotionally even when you were trying to pull them closer. And the guilt they carry from that is transforming them. They're not looking at love the same way anymore. They're not looking at connection the same way. They're not looking at you the same way. They used to think they had time, to grow, to return, to fix things. But now they're realizing that time is running out, that heaven is nudging them urgently, that the window to make this right is closing if they don't act soon. Their regret is turning into fear, not fear of love, but fear of losing you forever. Don't scroll, because heaven is preparing you for something. This regret they're feeling is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of their transformation. Their heart is being softened. Their spirit is being renewed. Their ego is being dismantled. And all of this is happening because heaven is preparing them to confront you with the truth they've been burying. Whether through a message, a call, a confession, or a moment of divine timing, something is aligning that will bring everything into the open. Their regret will become words. Their longing will become action. Their silence will break. And when it does, you will finally understand why the separation had to happen, why the timing was delayed, why heaven needed to work on both of you before bringing clarity. Don't scroll, because this is the confirmation your soul has been craving. This person's regret is real, deep, overwhelming, and it is pushing them toward a moment where they must speak, must reveal, must release what they've been holding inside. Heaven is not punishing you, it is preparing you. And soon, the regret they carry will lead to the truth you've been waiting to hear. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what you're about to hear will unlock something inside your spirit that has been waiting for clarity, waiting for confirmation, waiting for truth, and this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now more than you realize. The regret this person carries has reached a level they can no longer hide, no longer suppress, no longer pretend doesn't exist, and heaven has been amplifying this regret because the time for revelation is getting closer, the time for truth to surface is approaching, and the season of silence is coming to an end. You've been wondering why their energy has been tugging at you, why their memory has resurfaced so strongly, why your dreams feel like messages rather than imagination, and it's because heaven is stirring something inside them that directly affects you. Don't scroll, stay with this, because they have been going through an emotional unraveling that they never expected. Moments when they feel overwhelmed with sadness, moments when they feel sudden warmth in their chest because they're remembering your love, moments when their mind drifts to you without warning, leaving them staring at the wall wondering how they ever let someone like you go. Their regret isn't shallow, it's deep, layered, painful. They were running from their own fears, not from you. They were trying to protect their heart, not realizing they were breaking yours in the process. And now heaven is showing them the consequences of choosing fear over love. Listen to this, because your heart needs to understand the depth of their transformation. They're realizing that the life they've built without you feels incomplete, empty, and misaligned. They feel the absence of your encouragement, your warmth, your intuition, your emotional presence. Even the small things. The way you laughed, the way you asked about their day, the way you supported their goals, the way you understood their silence, are haunting them now. Don't scroll, because heaven is revealing layers of truth inside them that they can't ignore anymore. They're recognizing that you gave them a love that wasn't ordinary, wasn't replaceable, wasn't temporary, it was soul-level, intuitive, divine. You loved them with intention. You saw their wounds and didn't judge them. You saw their potential and lifted them. You saw their brokenness and didn't turn away. And losing that kind of love has become a wake-up call they never asked for but desperately needed. Their regret has matured into self-awareness. They're no longer blaming circumstances, they're recognizing their own emotional immaturity. They're no longer pretending they were right, they're acknowledging where they were wrong. They're no longer running from their feelings. They're being confronted by them daily. Don't scroll, because heaven wants you to hear this part clearly. The separation was divinely orchestrated, not as punishment, but as preparation. They needed to grow. They needed to heal. They needed to confront their trauma, their abandonment wounds, their inability to receive love. They needed to learn the hard way what heaven already knew: you were a blessing they weren't ready to appreciate. And now, as heaven shines light on their mistakes, regret is pushing them toward transformation. This isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. Their soul is waking up. Their ego is dissolving. Their walls are cracking. Their heart is surrendering. And heaven is aligning the moment where the truth they've been burying will break free. Don't scroll, because this is where the story shifts. They've been receiving signs that point back to you. They see your initials. They hear songs that remind them of moments you shared. They feel shifts in the energy when they think about you. They come across messages, images, memories that hit them so deeply they have to sit down and breathe through the emotion. Angel numbers like 000 reminding them of fresh starts, 1212 whispering alignment, 222 hinting at balance and reunion, they're not coincidences. Heaven is guiding them back to the truth. Their regret is becoming a spiritual signal that they must make things right. Listen carefully, because this next part is your confirmation. They've been imagining conversations with you. They rehearse what they want to say. They think about apologizing. They think about confessing. They think about telling you everything they didn't have the courage to say before. But they worry. They wonder if you've moved on. They fear you won't listen. They fear they waited too long. They fear they hurt you beyond repair. And yet, they still feel the pull. They still feel the connection. They still feel something inside them urging them to step forward. Don't scroll, your spirit needs this truth. They are being spiritually pushed toward reconciliation, not because heaven wants you to suffer, but because heaven wants to reward your heart. You didn't love wrong, they loved prematurely. You didn't hold on too tightly, they pushed away too quickly. You didn't lose because you weren't enough, you lost because their healing wasn't complete. And now? Heaven is finishing the work that was started when they walked away. Their regret is not punishment, it's preparation. Their longing is not weakness, it's awakening. Their emotional unraveling is not chaos, it's alignment. And soon, very soon, they will reach a moment where hiding hurts more than speaking, where silence feels heavier than truth, where fear feels smaller than love. Heaven is preparing them for that moment, and heaven is preparing you to receive the clarity you deserve. Don't scroll, because this is your final confirmation for part 4, their regret is the beginning of heaven's reveal. Something is shifting, something is aligning, something is approaching. And when it arrives, it will show you why you had to let go, why it hurt so deeply, and why heaven has been guiding both of you back to this moment. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay aligned. The revelation is closer than you think. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what's coming through right now is something your soul has been waiting to hear, something heaven has been trying to whisper into your spirit, and this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now more than you know. The regret this person feels has reached a point of emotional overflow, and heaven is no longer allowing them to run from it, hide from it, or numb themselves against it. Their heart is waking up in ways they never expected, and the truth they once pushed away is now the truth they cannot ignore. You've been feeling the shift, sensing emotional pressure, experiencing intuitive nudges, and what you've been picking up is real. Someone is wrestling with the realization that losing you was losing something heaven sent, something rare, something sacred, something their soul recognized long before their mind did. Don't scroll, stay with this, because heaven is showing you what they've been going through in silence. There are nights when they lie awake replaying every moment with you, moments they dismissed, moments they mishandled, moments they should have held on to but instead let slip through their fingers. They feel the weight of their absence, the sharp truth that they didn't show up for you the way they should have. They feel haunted by memories of you that don't fade, memories that cling to their heart because they were never meant to walk away in the first place. Every time they thought they moved on, something, sometimes a song, sometimes a scent, sometimes a dream, would pull them right back emotionally. That's heaven intervening. That's destiny refusing to let them forget what their soul still remembers. Don't scroll, listen closely. They've been seeing signs everywhere. Angel numbers that hit them when they least expect it, 222 when they feel unbalanced without you, 444 when they're alone and longing for stability, 555 when they know something big is about to change, 1111 when they think about reaching out to you. These signs appear like emotional alarms reminding them of what their heart has been whispering. You were never meant to be just a chapter, you were meant to be a turning point. And heaven is showing them that ignoring their feelings is not an option anymore. The regret has cracked open old wounds inside them, wounds they hid from you, wounds they hid from themselves. Losing you forced them to confront their shadow side, their patterns, their trauma, their fear of intimacy, and now they see clearly that the problem was never you, it was their unhealed heart. Don't scroll, because heaven wants you to understand something powerful. They didn't lose interest, they lost courage. They didn't stop caring, they stopped believing they were worthy of your love. They didn't walk away because there was no connection, they walked away because the connection was too real, too deep, too revealing, and they didn't know how to handle being seen so completely. But now they're realizing that walking away didn't protect them, it wounded them. It didn't make them stronger, it shattered something inside them. And heaven is preparing them to face the truth. If they want peace, if they want emotional freedom, if they want alignment with their own soul, they must make things right with you. Don't scroll, this next part matters. You've been healing, growing, transforming, and heaven needed you to elevate to this version of yourself so you wouldn't settle for anything less than real love, real effort, real honesty. You've stepped into a season of self-worth, self-awareness, and spiritual power. You're no longer the person who accepted bare minimum. You're no longer the person who tolerated emotional inconsistency. Your spirit has matured, your intuition is razor sharp, your energy is protected. Heaven refined you so that when truth arrives, you will know exactly what resonates with your soul. And heaven is refining them too, softening their heart, humbling their pride, breaking the emotional walls that kept them from loving deeply. This regret is not punishment, it's preparation. Don't scroll, listen carefully. They have moments where the urge to reach out is so strong it feels physical, like something in their chest tightens until they can barely breathe. They rehearse what they want to say. They pick up their phone. They type messages they never send. They check your profile hoping to feel close to you again. They wonder if you'd listen, if you'd care, if you'd reject them, if they still have a place in your heart. And heaven is slowly guiding them toward the courage they lacked before. They will not stay silent forever. Something is building inside them, a confession, an apology, a truth long buried, and when it comes out, it will come out with emotion, vulnerability, sincerity, and a level of authenticity they never showed you before. Don't scroll, because this is your confirmation. Heaven is orchestrating a moment where their regret transforms into action. A message. A conversation. A chance encounter. A breakthrough. Something is coming that will reveal the reason behind everything, the distance, the silence, the timing. You will understand why heaven let this separation happen and why this regret had to grow inside them. You're stepping into a season where truth replaces confusion, where clarity replaces doubt, where purpose replaces pain. Their regret is not the end, it's the beginning of their awakening. And heaven is about to show you exactly why losing you changed them in ways they can no longer hide. Stay open, stay grounded, stay aligned. The reveal is closer than you think. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what you're about to hear is going to hit your spirit in a way that feels like déjà vu, like something inside you already knew it was coming, and this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. You've been sensing energy shifts, emotional waves, sudden thoughts that don't feel like your own, and it's because heaven has been turning the volume up on someone's regret, someone's awakening, someone's realization that losing you was losing the best part of their story, and they are feeling the consequences of that decision more deeply than they ever expected. Their regret has now crossed from emotional to spiritual, meaning heaven is no longer letting them run from the truth. They are being confronted daily with the impact of their actions, the absence of your presence, and the overwhelming knowing that what they walked away from was divinely placed, divinely guided, divinely meaningful. Don't scroll, stay with this, because they have been having moments of emotional collapse, times where they feel overwhelmed by a sudden rush of memories, where their heart drops out of nowhere, where they feel a longing so strong it brings actual physical pressure to their chest. These moments aren't random, they're triggered by spiritual alignment, by heaven nudging their heart, by their soul remembering what their mind tried to forget. They miss your voice, your warmth, your encouragement, your energy. They miss the way you believed in them, the way you saw through their walls, the way you made them feel safe enough to imagine a future they once feared. Losing you stripped away their emotional comfort zone, forcing them to confront wounds they've been avoiding for years. Listen to this, because heaven wants you to understand, their regret is growing because their soul is waking up. They're realizing you weren't just someone they dated, talked to, cared about casually, you were a spiritual catalyst, someone who touched parts of them no one else reached, someone whose presence brought healing even when you weren't trying. You made them feel seen in a way that scared them because they weren't ready to face themselves fully. And now heaven is making sure they see everything clearly, the love they took for granted, the effort they ignored, the patience they didn't match, the moments they chose silence when they should have chosen honesty. Don't scroll, because this next part is crucial. They are starting to understand that the emptiness they feel isn't ordinary heartbreak. It's spiritual separation from someone they were meant to grow with. They keep trying to distract themselves, diving into work, friendships, habits, anything that keeps them from sitting still long enough to feel the full weight of their regret. But heaven keeps stopping them. Circumstances fall apart. Relationships fail before they begin. Conversations with others feel hollow. Temporary connections feel meaningless. Their soul recognizes that it's out of alignment, and the misalignment becomes painful. Every reminder of you, songs, numbers, places, phrases, hits them with a force that shakes their heart awake. Don't scroll, listen closely. They've been seeing angel numbers constantly, especially during emotional peaks. 111 reminds them of the new beginning they wish they could have with you. For 44 appears when they feel alone, reminding them of the protection they felt when you were in their life. 777 shows up when they reflect on their spiritual growth since losing you. 222 appears during moments of emotional clarity, signaling partnership, reconciliation, balance. These signs aren't subtle anymore, they're everywhere, and heaven is making sure they don't forget what they walked away from. They are being spiritually trained to understand that losing you was not fate, it was a mistake, one heaven is now urging them to correct. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance. They are changing. Slowly, painfully, deeply, they are changing. Their ego is loosening its grip. Their fear is dissolving. Their pride is thinning. Their emotional armor is cracking open. Heaven has been stripping away everything that kept them from feeling their truth. They're noticing that the people they once prioritized can't offer them what you did. They're noticing that the connections they chased can't compare to the connection their soul still feels with you. They're noticing that the version of themselves who walked away is not the version they want to remain. And heaven is guiding them toward a moment of breakthrough, a moment where their emotional walls shatter and the truth spills out. Don't scroll, because this is the part your intuition already knows is coming. They are preparing to reach out. Not out of loneliness, not out of boredom, not out of nostalgia, but out of genuine realization. Out of growth. Out of accountability. Out of spiritual awakening. They've played your past conversations in their minds so many times that they've memorized every tone, every pause, every word they wish they responded to better. They've imagined apologizing, imagined explaining, imagined telling you everything they should have said before fear silenced them. Heaven has been strengthening their courage, pushing them closer to confession, closer to honesty, closer to a moment where holding their truth becomes more painful than speaking it. Don't scroll, because here's your confirmation: the regret in their heart has reached its final stage, the stage that pushes them into action. A message, a call, a moment of vulnerability, an unexpected breakthrough, something is coming, something they won't be able to stop. Their heart has been preparing the words. Heaven has been preparing the timing. And your spirit has been prepared to receive the truth you've waited for. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay aligned. The reveal is near, and heaven is about to show you exactly why their regret had to grow before the truth could finally be spoken. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what you're about to hear is the final confirmation your heart has been waiting for, the one that ties every sign, every feeling, every intuitive whisper together. And this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now more than anything. You felt the buildup, the emotional tension, the subtle spiritual pressure that's been growing around you, and none of it was your imagination. Heaven has been preparing you for the climax of this journey, the moment when all the regret, all the silence, all the lessons, all the delays finally make sense. Someone who regrets losing you is standing on the edge of a breakthrough, and heaven is guiding them, pushing them, nudging them toward a moment where their truth can no longer stay buried. They have reached the emotional point of no return. Don't scroll, stay right here, because this person has been feeling everything so intensely it's starting to overflow into their daily life. They can't hide it anymore. They wake up thinking about you, wondering what their life would look like if they had done things differently. They go to sleep with your memory tugging at their heart, reminding them of the peace they once felt in your presence. During the day, your name appears in their mind like an echo, like a whisper, like a vibration they can't shake. They've tried to distract themselves, drown out their feelings, convince themselves it's too late. But heaven keeps interrupting those thoughts with reminders, signs, synchronicities, and emotional surges that make it impossible for them to escape their truth. They regret losing you, not because you've moved on, not because they're lonely, but because their soul has awakened to what you truly were, a divine gift, a spiritual connection, a turning point in their journey. Don't scroll, listen closely. Heaven has been revealing pieces of their realization slowly, piece by piece, through moments of clarity, through dreams that feel like messages, through emotional breakthroughs that happen unexpectedly, through angel numbers that appear at the exact moment they think of reaching out. When they see 111, they feel the spark of new beginnings. When they see 222, they think of balance and partnership. When they see 333, they feel guided to express their truth. When they see 444, they remember how safe they felt with you. When they see 555, they sense the change coming. The universe is not only guiding them, it's preparing them. And you, too, have been feeling the shift. Don't scroll, because here comes the part your spirit already knows. Your emotions have been heightened because your souls are synchronizing again. You felt waves of unexpected sadness, warmth, longing, hope. You felt moments where your chest tightens with no explanation. You felt nights where your dreams reminded you of them so vividly you woke up breathless. These aren't random, they're energetic signals, spiritual resonance, the merging of two hearts preparing for a divine reveal. Heaven is aligning the moment when everything that has been suppressed will burst open, and when it does, it will bring clarity that you've been waiting months, maybe years, for. Don't scroll, your heart needs this next truth.